Too bad. So sad, too bad. You shouldn't have started, dude. Let's remind it. You, Israel, carried out the surprise attack against Iran. This was a war of choice. You didn't need to do this. You opted into this. Now Iran has said, we're not finished till you're done. So Israel doesn't get an off-ramp. And the choice isn't with Donald Trump. What hubris, what arrogance. The choice is with Iran. This war finishes when Iran says it's done, and Iran won't say it's done until the United States is evicted from the Middle East and Israel is destroyed. Welcome to the reality, Israel. You created this. Did you see the IRGC's new targeting guidance? Now that
one has the munitions?
Now that they've eliminated the air defense capability, and we saw that last night, Israel has no air defense capability, none whatsoever. Iran will only fire missiles with a 1-ton warhead, meaning that the day of coming in with small warheads is over. Israel is now ready to get the find out aspect of the fool around equation. And all other nations that want to play this game will do as well. So again, to the United Arab Emirates, please don't be stupid, because you will be taken off the map. The same thing with Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. Azerbaijan needs to understand that as well. Iran's not playing around. They have missiles, thousands of missiles that they haven't used yet. New missiles, hypersonic missiles with huge warheads, very accurate. Remember when we talked about how the Israelis, they're down to 12 launchers. Well, I think that's been proven to be a lie, because Iran is salvoing far more than 12 missiles at a time now against Iran. The Iranians have a plan. They have a game plan. Everything's going according to their plan. They're collapsing the global economy as we speak. Again, that's the fool around aspect of it. You're going to find out. Oil's through the roof. And if this continues, there won't be oil to be produced in the Middle East, because if Israel and this is, again, a message to those people in the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and elsewhere. If you sit back and do nothing while Israel strikes energy production facilities inside Iran, understand you will pay the price. You will be destroyed, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Your air defenses don't work either, and you're about ready to get hit with 1-ton plus warheads. The level of destruction will be mind-boggling. So I just wish people would stop pretending that Israel and the United States have a vote anymore. They created this problem. They've lost this war. They don't get to dictate the outcome other than acknowledging their defeat and doing what Iran demands. And in the case of the United States, that's get the hell out of the Middle East. And with Israel, stop playing the great Israeli game. Start recognizing an independent Palestinian state and learn how to live in peace and harmony with.
And if you an American and currently living in America and hoping, wishing, praying, and cheering for the downfall and destruction of America, bro, you one of the stupidest motherfuckers on this earth. Is this country fucked up? Absolutely. Do we got a lot of bullshit going on that shouldn't be going on? Fuck yeah. Is this bitch racist and prejudiced than a motherfucker? Hell yeah it is, nigga. This shit we got a whole bunch of fuckery going on, you know what I'm saying? But I want to know, what do y'all think gonna happen if another country somehow defeat America and come and take this bitch over? What you think they gonna have a meeting and say, hey guys, I would like to introduce myself as such and such, and we're here to tell you guys that under us, we're gonna make your life 50 times better than it's previous been in America. Everything that America promised you and lied to you and didn't give you guys, we're gonna give it. We're gonna bring you guys peace, prosperity, happiness, and freedom for all. We're gonna give you guys everything that you can imagine. The real American dream, we're gonna present it to you, and we're gonna let you have it. Is that what the fuck y'all think gonna happen? Cause ain't no way in hell y'all wanna see this shit go down, man. Why in y'all lifetime? What the fuck they gonna happen to you? What you think they gonna do? Like, bruh, there's no cure for the ignorance that a lot of y'all have. It just ain't nothing. Y'all can't be saved. Y'all can't be cured. Y'all can't be nothing but discarded. You know what I'm saying? Fuck yeah, man. Boy, I just got work. I'm gonna go to sleep, man. Y'all bitches crazy.
How's everybody doing today? I never thought I could ever hate someone as much as I hate him. Not in a million years. I don't care if the MAGAs say I have TDS. If I have TDS, so does the rest of the damn world. I don't care how it happens. It just needs to happen before he causes more death and destruction to all of us. God bless everyone, except him.
The first is United States will use ground troops. And this will mean that Donald Trump will institute a national draft. Okay? That's the first prediction. Second prediction is that Israel and the United States will not use tactical nuclear weapons in this war. Number three is that the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in the Islamic world, will be destroyed during this war. Okay, so last class, I explained my analysis and my reasoning for my first two predictions. Today, I'll explain my third prediction. So before we start, I just want to look at some videos, okay? So you understand some of the context, some of the players in this war. All right, so this is Senator Blumenthal of Connecticut, and he is one of the 100 members of the U.S. Senate. He's also one of the members of the Gang of Eight. Now, when you are fighting a war, the White House has responsibility to report its objectives, its purpose, how the war is progressing to 8 members of Congress in a confidential setting, okay? And this is Senator Blumenthal after he's been debriefed by the White House. Okay, this is what he has to say about the progress of the war so far.
I emerged from this briefing as dissatisfied and angry, frankly, as I have from any past briefing in my 15 years in the Senate. I am left with more questions than answers, especially about the cost of the war. My questions have been unanswered, and I will demand answers because the American people deserve to know. And I guess I am most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially deploying our sons and daughters on the ground in Iran. We seem to be on a path toward deploying American troops on the ground in Iran to accomplish any of the potential objectives here. And there is also, as disturbingly as anything else, the specter of active Russian aid to Iran, putting in danger American lives.
All right, so 3 things to take away from his talk with reporters, okay? The first thing is the administration, Donald Trump, the White House, has not articulated a budget. How much will this war cost? Which means that this is an open-ended war. We don't know when this war will end, and so we don't know what the commitment is, and so we don't know how much this war will cost. Okay, that's the first point he makes. The second point he makes is we are on a path towards the deployment of ground troops in Iran. Okay, and that basically means a national draft. And the third thing that's crucial is he says that they know for a fact that Russia is already involved in this war, aiding Iran. Okay, so that's the 3 main takeaways. Okay, so this is the foreign minister of Iran, Agachi, talking to NBC News. All right, And ABC News is going to ask Agachi, hey, there's talk in the United States already of ground troops being used against Iran. Okay? Now I want you to observe his response and then the response of the journalist.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You were waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Again, certain things to appreciate. First of all, the foreign minister, Agachi, he is not at all concerned about ground troops. In fact, he basically said, it's a trap for you guys. You come in, we've been preparing for about 20 years for this, we will destroy you.
The dollar system is playing for all the marbles.
Yep, the U.S. is going for broke against Iran.
The Rothschild network is going for broke.
Yeah, the Epstein network is going for broke here.
If they're going to implement a control model, they need to shut down all the leakage.
Right. And I think the thinking from the Epstein empire is, hey, we better take care of this now because China's getting stronger and Russia's getting stronger and Iran's getting stronger and we're getting weaker. So it's now or never.
Right. I agree. I totally agree.
Make no mistake about this. This is most certainly a proxy war from the U.S.'s point of view against China. This is a move on China. And make no mistake about it, China is knee deep behind the scenes in Iran.
And they keep saying there's no reason why we're in a war in Iran. They can't give us a logical, rational reason. And that's because if you look at what the reason is, they don't want to say it. I mean, if you're the president, you can't say, we have to shut down the central bank leakage so the Epstein network or the Rothschild network, whatever you want to call it, can implement complete control. That's not a good reason to make public.
In the year 2000, there was 9 countries without a Rothschild-owned central bank. And as you can see on this list, we've been knocking them down. Who's our number one enemy right now? Iran. Who have we been bombing? Syria. Who did we just kidnap their president from? Venezuela. And for those that don't remember, this is a U.S. soldier in Iraq. And this guy, I don't know who he is, but he's correct. Judging by who's celebrating, you know whose car it was. And as you can see here, Nat Rothschild congratulated President Trump on what happened. Gave him a good old attaboy. And in Venezuela, all these things on this list is true. And the one that probably upsets him the most is the one at the bottom, because the people there are not debt slaves to the central bank.
And when Wesley Clark said we're gonna invade 7 countries in 5 years, what you were talking about were the countries where those central banks were not on board to do programmable money. And their governance structures were not on board with essentially, because of Epstein, I'll call it the Rockefeller Rothschild model. There was an effort to say, okay, we're going to basically assert control of the central banks in those countries. That's my interpretation. And I think one of the reasons we're seeing so much tension around Iran is because Iran right now is the big leakage in the system.
How?
So
it's not about their nukes?
No. So, Iran's central bank counts. One of the reasons it counts is because their oil and energy is very important, including for China.
Yeah.
And that's very important in the BRICS system. What the BRICS system is trying to do is to create independent payment systems. But if you're going to come out with programmable money, with digital IDs that are interoperable globally and programmable money that controls in each jurisdiction centrally, you can't afford leakage. And so you've got way too much leakage in the system to proceed with what they're trying to do. And Iran and the BRIC nations are a sticking point.
The U.S. military is deploying 5,000 Marines to Iran. 5,000. To put things in perspective, the initial invasion of Iraq took 173,000 troops. It took an army the size of a small European country just to take Baghdad, and then 20 more years to set the rest of the country on fire. Now they're sending 5,000? That's not an invasion force. That's a really aggressive book club. And the timing couldn't be more grim. President Trump finally admitted what everyone knew all along. The Iranian people are not going to rise up anytime soon. So the plan has shifted from the people will liberate themselves to this is a sacrifice I'm willing for you to make. And you got to be sorry for these guys that are being sent. They know this is Operation Einstein's Fury. They're clogging up the toilets just so the ships will turn around and go home. And now they're being sent in 100-1 odds by a draft dodger president who doesn't respect American prisoners of war. Even the yes men, the same ones who cannot walk straight because they're all submissively wearing the same oversized Florsheim's. Even they are running for the exits. Blinken's all over CNBC saying, I want them. J.D. Vance, he leaks to Politico saying he was against this all along. So ask yourself, if Trump's in a circle, the ones with the inside information are all distancing themselves. What does that tell you?
The
U.S. military
I want to give all the praise, all the honor, all the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar HaKodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarium, shal yasha'Allah, that's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Breaking news, 5,000 Marines. The tip of the spear is headed out to the Middle East. We told you. And the draft is hot. That's all I kept seeing is draft all day. So this is prophecy. The Lord will remove the Northern Army up to the Middle East real soon. So prepare yourself. We're in a very, very, very serious time, of war and of destruction. This is Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he, this is the elect, the chosen, shall be saved out of it. So breaking. You're going to hear more about this. 5,000 Marines being shipped to the Middle East. Everything is set up. Shalom.
I have to tell you guys about a dream that I had a long time ago because I feel like it's about to happen. So basically how it started was I was in a vehicle and I was driving around the city that I live in and it was completely dark. The vehicle that I was in was like my real car, a small sedan, blue, right? So I'm in this vehicle driving around and I get to my aunt's house. She lives on the nice side of town. And the moon's full. It's not really windy night, but it's just completely pitch black, dark out, right? So I walk up to my aunt's house and I knock on the door and I look around and I realize that there's literally nobody here. And as I'm walking down the sidewalk, I realize that I'm literally the only guy in the city. And I don't know how, but somehow it was communicated to me by God telepathically, not a literal voice in the dream, that some major war had popped off and that there was no men in the city, right? So as I get told this telepathically, I head back to my car. And when I'm in my car, I'm holding a baby. And while I'm holding this baby, I look over and this girl that I know that's in the army appears in the driver's seat. And she's holding a baby as well. And I don't know if that was God showing me that this has to do with war because I don't really think that this girl was, specifically means that she was going to stay behind with me. I think it was more symbolic because she was in her uniform. And me and this girl were driving around the entire city holding these babies, realizing that we had a big burden to take care of these babies and that there was no men left in the town. And somehow I had the privilege of not being sent off to war, but that meant that I had this huge responsibility to take care of these babies. And this girl that was with me was completely silent. She wasn't speaking like she normally does. She wasn't talkative. She was stern and she was firm. And remember, she was in her uniform. So fast forward, and I forget about this dream, right? Well, today, my cousin, who is a huge Roblox nerd and really doesn't care about the kind of stuff, this kind of content, doesn't really watch like apocalypse, end of the world movies. He just cares about Roblox, right? And he designs software and all this. Anyways, he tells me that he has this dream where he sees me in the city that I'm in. Mind you, he lives in Omaha. I'm in a different city. He says that he sees me and we're standing outside of this care center, which is like a boys and girls home or a Critton center, which is basically a school for troubled kids, right? And he says that we're standing there and then these guys that are overweight come with, boomsticks and they try to attack us. Well, he says that me and him are standing there fighting them and somehow they're chasing us, but I think he said that we get their boomsticks away from those guys and we end up winning this engagement, right? Well, he says that as we're running down the streets, he notices that he sees our family and that there's literally no men in the family left. And that there's no men left to protect the women. There's no men left to protect the kids, the girls, nothing. And that it's just me and him. And as soon as I heard that, I instantly thought of the dream that I just told you guys about. And the reason that I'm telling you this, guys, is because I don't know why, but I feel it in my spirit that they are about to pull a draft over the entire United States when this war with Iran kicks off. You have literally seen nothing, bro. And I'm telling you that I genuinely believe that a draft is coming. Whatever happens, do not believe their lies and do not sign up to fight these wars, guys.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They've just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there, it would be like Africa. Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you, but there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force in the region.